So, Leonardo, yes. So what do you think about this? I mean, you mentioned in the plenary session that you attached importance to the relationship that you have with these owners. Could you talk me through that a bit further? Could you expand?
Yes, thank you. I can only confirm that so far the cooperation with the owner has been excellent in the terms that they are always performed apart from the unavoidable situation where sometimes the vessel can incur, but in terms of a commercial operation, we are quite satisfied with their jobs. So in addition, I must admit that in the future we expect a significant improvement of our market, our business. In that respect, I would like to continue our business with the company, considering that maybe there are more opportunities and improve the business in the coming years.
Good, thank you. That's very helpful. So do I understand correctly then that apart from the particular issue concerning the vessel speed, you've enjoyed generally,
Yes.
You're happy with the vessels, you're happy with the service provided by these owners?
Absolutely, yes.
And you mentioned, I hope I'm describing this accurately, you mentioned that you're anticipating an improvement in your business. Could you expand on that for me?
Yes, according to our experts, our analysts that are sounding the market, there will be an increasing of the demand expected in the second quarter next year. So maybe the volume of cargoes that can be transported will increase dramatically. So we are in the need of having more vessels under our management. And obviously, we would prefer to have customers that are already well-known and reputable and reliable.
Right. So do I understand you to be saying that everything else being equal, your preference would be to extend the period of the charter of the blue chip Naples, and perhaps to take further tonnage from these owners? Is that what you're telling me?
We cannot rule out this opportunity.
I see. And could you talk me through just briefly how does the market look? I mean, we know the time charter rate for this charter, about 4,000 a day, I think you told me. What is the rate currently?
Nowadays, the rate is running about 6,500 per day. We expect an increasing by the second quarter next year in terms of maybe 20% more.
I see. And so how would you like to see, you've told me that you value the relationship with these owners. You've told me that your business is improving, increasing. What sort of resolution of the present dispute would you like to see?
I consider that this particular case should not result in a case study, in the sense that if we are still convinced about our position, but at the same time we are open to have an agreement with the party in order to facilitate this process, because we would like to maintain our position regarding the cleaning clause, because we have other customer, we have other contract, and it is extremely important that the principle of the contracts are kept as they are. At the same time, we recognize the spirit of cooperation of the owners and their wise decision of to clean the vessel in the common interest of both parties, of course.
Now, I don't, I mean, it's your issue with the owners, not mine to solve, and I don't want to put ideas in your head that are unwelcome, but just a bit of mental arithmetic tells me that if you were now concluding a fresh charter for Blue Chip Naples, then between now and the end of the year, the higher differential would amount to something like $250,000.
We're more or less and in a similar range in terms of advantages in case of a future contract. So I am not precise and minus or plus, but more or less it could be resulting in the same figure. In terms
so, I mean, do you foresee the possibility of some arrangement with the owners which might enable you to park the present dispute and make them an offer in relation to...
we are open to discuss that.
And can you put to me what you would have in mind?
One option could be to confirm the 2 existing vessels and to commit 2 more vessels next year, starting from the second quarter, at a more convenient rate.
Sorry, you mentioned 2 existing vessels. I'm, of course, aware of Blue Chip Naples.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any other vessel.
No.
So, I'm sorry?
I mean the blue chips vessels.
I see. So you're talking about extending Blue Chip Naples.
Yes.
That charter expires when? Is it
February next.
February next year?
Yeah, February next.
So you're talking about extending for what sort of period?
Okay, I will keep the charter option, but one option can be 3 years, 1 plus 1 plus 1.
So 3 years,
3 years
plus 1 plus 1.
Yeah.
And at what rate?
We can study a slight increase year by year.
And for the period commencing when the present charter terminates,
Yes,
what
yes.
rate?
On February, we can increase by $1,000 per day each year.
Okay. And you mentioned a second vessel,
Yeah.
and what, you're looking for a precise sister vessel.
Yes, maybe the same size, yes.
And you believe these owners have availability?
I know their fleet. I don't know if they have a vessel available for free of charter for the time we need that. But I know that in their fleet there are some opportunities. There are vessels with the same capacity, same cubic, then can be an option as well.
So you'd be looking at the same, you'd be looking for that second charter to
Yes.
start when?
Okay, we can start from the 1st of April next year, at the beginning of the second quarter.
So from 1st April 17.
Yeah.
So do I understand, do I understand correctly that what you have in mind is on expiry of Blue Chip Naples charter in February next year, was that plus minus 30
Months, yes, 30, yes, 30 days.
So
Plus.
would you But you would treat the charter as expiring 1st February next year, is that right?
Yes?
And you would then be looking to take her on charter at $5,000 a day, a $1,000
Yes.
increase,
Increase?
and then each year 1,000 further increase.
Yes, correct.
And a sister vessel, ideally for same terms, but starting 1st April.
Yes, correct.
And is that something you would like me to propose?
We are open to propose that.
Yes. And how would you then treat the present dispute between yourselves and the owners?
I think just to avoid any misunderstanding, the decision of Mr. Rondinella, well, more than perhaps we technically availability to accept a proposal. Let's say that in principle, Mr. Rondinella subject to agreeing on the details of the whole matter, would may be available to accept. There is no concession on the result of on the dispute. So we want to have in full our claim. Option A. Option B, we
Sorry,
may...
Francesco,
Si.
just for my understanding, when you say you want full resolution of your claim,
Yes.
am I right in understanding that you've deducted $250,000 from hire?
Yes.
So that's a sum that the owners are seeking from you,
Yes.
from Leonardo. And additionally, owners have incurred or calculate that the time and cost of a deviation to Singapore to clean the ship's bottom is a further 30,000.
Yes.
So they're claiming...
if I
yes.
may, the whole amount could be deducted by installment during the course, in the equal installment during the course of the existing charter. So there is actually no settlement in respect of our claim. We would like to have it in full. But we would like to offer a wider picture. We know that these owners are good owners, but they are in very bad financial conditions. They have got probably a problem in fixing this vessel. We offer them a very generous proposal, which is a time charter for an extension. How long is the extension?
3 years chartered option.
Okay. So we would like to have an option for 3 years with
Francesco, if it helps,
So we have a very bad period. We confirm another year of the blue chip Napoli straight at the same higher or with a
The higher corresponding to the increasing in February next, so that means $1,000.
just a moment, because we would like to be precise with our proposal. So we will increase the high from February of 1,000, and then we would like to have an option, let's say 30 days before the end of this charter, for 3 years, but with a high rate which increases every year $1,000. In addition to this, we request another option 1 year at an increased high rate of 1 year, plus another one. So the total period would be of 5 years, and the total increase of the charter would be of $6,000, considering the increase during the next charter fixed straight period. And then we make a similar proposal for another vessel, so 1 year straight, plus this very generous option, when we have got a market that in the best case may decline in the short period and have a relatively contained increase in the medium long term if everything goes for the best. And we have got also this delay of paying our claim, which we expect to get in full from the tribunal. And each party will pay its own costs. So we waive our claim in respect of costs in full.
And
upon condition, obviously, that the other party does the same.
And what, by the way, Francesco, are the legal costs for the charterers right now? What's the figure roughly, just so I know?
Each party keeps their own costs, and we will share the tribunal cost and the mediator cost, because we know that your mediation costs are very reasonable. So this
Right.
And,
Let me just double check a few points in reverse order.
the hearing was of half a day, so
Thank you.
the lawyers are very reasonable. In particular,
As always, Francesco,
Hildy Kingston and
that's really
Studio Legale.
helpful. That's really helpful.
like
Thank you.
every other
Now,
firm here.
Taking your points in reverse order, you said that you're content for your claim to be paid in installments, but in fact, have you not already deducted the 250,000?
No, we meant that the
and
claim
not
for
paid, and not paid the 30,000. So I don't think a deduction in installments, unless you now propose to pay 280,000, which you then progressively claw back. I don't understand your suggestion there.
No, you're right. In fact, you're right. So there is no installment proposal.
So no installment
Yes.
proposal. Okay, so I understood Leonardo to be saying a few moments ago, whilst you helpfully had a short toilet exit, I understood Leonardo to be saying that he would be, his preference would be to extend Blue Chip Naples for 3 years plus options, further 1 year, further 1 year, so potentially 5 years, from when the current charter expires at the beginning of February next year, and then to take a sister vessel, if available, on same terms. Sorry, the terms would be 1,000 increase in hire for the first year, increasing by a further 1,000 each year. So as you said, up.
No, well, I think there's been a misunderstanding. For the first vessel is a straight period of 3 years.
Starting first
from February. Then plus one. Each year the high increases of 1,000. While the second vessel, and obviously is one deal, is not two deals. So for us it makes a sense.
Yes.
The second vessel, the option will be declared in February, and but it will declare in one go for the 3-year period with increases each year of 1,000 in the hire.
So Leonardo wants the option to take a second vessel.
A second vessel.
He
Then,
doesn't
we know they have. So the charges are very generous, but obviously they would like to gain a little bit of discretional power, decisional power.
And the option for the second vessel is to be declared when?
In February as well, when we know that the second vessel will be free from any charter.
But the terms would otherwise be the same as for blue chip.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. Good. May I put these points to the owners?
Yes, unfortunately, this is not a proposal, so you will have, unfortunately, to work very, very hard to make them, to make to Mr. Rondinella this proposal. So this is, unfortunately, you know, we'd like to be frank with you, and is our point of arrival is not a negotiation intermediate position.
Well,
so if you want, if you will leave, you are free to play the game as you like. Perhaps you can make a different proposal, but we are playing with open cards. This is otherwise, for us, it's not a problem. We can always negotiate something with this owner. There are thousands of owners who are desperate of fixing their vessel for the 3-year period with increasing hire. And these are good owners, but there are a lot of others. But I think we have a window of opportunity here, and obviously you have your record of success that we don't want to decrease.
Well, that's very kind and considerate of you, but I think Leonardo was stressing a short while ago the importance of the relationship with these owners, and I just want to be clear that what is being proposed to them is going to keep them talking rather than drive them to walk out of the mediation. So do I understand correctly that the proposal is no payment in relation to their claims, but potentially to take 2 vessels on charter for potentially up to 5 years at the rates you described, and to, with each party bearing their own costs and 50% of the tribunal's costs?
Yes,
and the media.
This is, you're right, this is the potential of the agreement, but anyway, if the agreement goes through, there will be actually an extension of the existing charter of 3 years at an increasing high rate, which is much more than probably the best scenario. We could see this on the paper deals that the market is expecting.
Okay,
So,
well, I've been keeping the owners out in the drafty corridors now for quite a while, so I think I should call them back in. If you wouldn't mind then leaving the room, asking the owners if they'd come back in, and we'll see if we can move forward.
yes,
Thank you
and
very much.
Don't forget that we are sharing the cost, that probably in arbitration of this kind, I think maybe also quite a heavy burden for the owners to have
Yes,
to pay.
I've noted.
Certainly, I will not charge Mr. Rondinella the same that I would.
Yes, I've noted that point. Thank you.